Thank you very much, Baraka, for hosting us. And I'm really excited to be here. We've been working together for a while now. And before we started working together, we are all from the same program. I don't know if you remember from Limelu, those years. And I'm really equally proud of what you've done all this time. It takes a lot more than just having ideas or even direction. It takes a lot of resilience, purpose, and determination to really grow where you are today. So we want to have this very frank conversation with you. Like I mentioned to you off camera, in terms of like, we have seen so many opinions driving the ecosystem. And now we want to actually bring out those very organic, very original experience. So the ecosystem, the investors, the startups or potential founders can really know, okay, what do I need to focus on when I'm building? Where do I find resources? How do I hire? How do I navigate fundraising? How do I navigate compliance? Should I have to wait until I'm compliant to start, or can I start looking for compliance? These kind of things are, a lot of questions that most of the emerging founders really wants to have answers to. And we feel like, for the past more than 4 or 5 years we've been building, these are things that you've tried to navigate on your own. Exactly. And those experiences are very enriching. And we want to see, how do we get this information to people that will need it, especially the upcoming founders. So welcome to the Undiluted Talk. My name is Francis, managing partner at Ennovate Ventures. Here with Baraka.
My name is Baraka. I'm the founder and CEO of Kilimo Fresh Foods, Tanzania.
Baraka is someone that I really admire, not just because he is one of our founders, our portfolio, but because of his resilience, because of his, passion for what he's doing, and also being very visionary in terms of having the direction of where he wants to go. He has really navigated all of this journey by himself for the past many years, and I'm very, very impressed because he's someone that, outside the noise, he's been able to figure out what is important and focus on them. Today, we are going to start unwrapping some of the conversations, the very hard conversations being a founder. And today, Baraka will tell us about his journey building Kilimo Fresh, and also what the directions are going forward. So we're going to touch some of the aspects that people don't really talk about so much, going into like the challenges from building to hiring, firing, motivating your team, also fundraising. How do you even use funding when you raise them? How do you even know evaluation? How do you know the right investor to speak to? These kind of conversations are very uncommon, but those are things that we want to really cover in this kind of session. So I will go directly to Baraka. On a lighter note, maybe you can want to tell us, like, why did you start Kilimo Fresh? What was the motivation? What was driving you during those times?
Thank you so much, Francis. Briefly, actually, okay, most people know about Kilimo Fresh, but honestly, the journey started 5 years before we started the company. Because the idea of Kilimo Fresh came around 2018, but we started as smallholder farmers back in 2014.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
new information. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I went to Mzumbe University in Morogoro, where we did a bachelor degree in business administration, and most focused was in entrepreneurship. And when I was there, most of the times when you get outside the university, the only thing you see is smallholder farmers, and animal keepers. And spending time in Mzumbe and doing entrepreneurship a degree, most of the times we had this idea of what can I do around my community to add value. And at that particular time, also relating back to my background, I mean, my grandparents were also farmers. Every time I went to visit them, I was given a very small plot of land to cultivate.
To practice.
Start
being a man.
Exactly, yeah. So when I was in Morogoro, the easiest thing I could relate to was agriculture. And I remember we started doing, me and my partner, I keep saying we is because me and my partner Justice went to the same university.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we did the same course. So around 2014, we decided, okay, let's start farming. And the first produce was watermelon. So we were growing watermelons, and then we were selling to middlemen. And then later on, we managed to, actually I told my mom I was staying off campus. She was giving me money for accommodation off campus, but honestly, I was staying in campus. And then I was using the money to finance to complement my farming project. So we were able to get additional 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres. And then from 1 acre of watermelons, we went to 3, 4, 5 acres, grow tomatoes, capsicums, watermelons in Morogoro. And then later on, after university, we moved to Dar es Salaam. And then I was growing mostly in Kigamboni. So we got some farms in Kigamboni, and then Kisiju. We are growing watermelons, tomatoes, and other products, and then we would sell to middlemen, and then later on we'll sell to the market. Now, during this journey of farming and selling, we had three main problems. First of all, middlemen were paying us very low margins, and this is because they wanted to actually make double what the farmers being paid. Yeah. And then second, we didn't have access to storage, and also we didn't know, we didn't have the market information, so we didn't know who are the main customers, who are they selling to. Yeah. Until 2017, we decided, okay, let's stop selling to middlemen. Let's bring the products to the market ourselves. So we were bringing watermelon, then we were selling in Stereo, Kariako market, put them on the floor, and then sell
People
to walk in.
Buy.
Yeah,
they come to buy. Retail level.
Yes, on the retail level. But then during that time, also had other problems. For you to sell in the market, you need to pay for security. You need to pay for a small place you're given to keep your produce, to store produce. You need to pay for cleaning fees. And then you need to pay the middlemen who help you get customers.
Start learning all of these dynamics. It's not a straightforward thing like, I want to sell. No.
Yeah. So in the market, the way it works, when the customer walks inside the gate, someone has to pull the customer from the gate to bring them to your
What do you call them?
location.
Is it the
Mawinga? Mawinga, yes. They go bring customers to where your products are, and then they can sell. And then for every product you sell, you give these guys Mawingas. 200 shillings commission, 200 to 300 shillings. So looking at all that, all this cost put all together is the final customer who is paying this.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we were losing close to 45%
to waste.
Post-harvest losses, because you remember you're putting the produce on the floor. Yeah, on the floor or maybe on the table, but mostly it's on the ground. And then you cover them with the turubai, and then you wait
just to wait.
Yeah, but so no temperature controlled, nothing. So when we had these issues, we said, okay, let's stop farming, let's stop doing this, let's talk to customers directly. So we did the research. We spoke with over 500 hotels in Dar es Salaam. So we asked them main questions: where do you buy from? How do you get them? How do you get the good delivered? How do you pay? If there's a service to do delivery, how would you want the service to be? So from those questions, we were able to create a solution. And I remember our first price list was very rough. So every time we went to a customer, and then they said, no, this is too high. I buy at this price. Then we'll update. Before we go to the other customer, we'll update the prices.
You're not looking at your own margins, so you are going to sustain at all.
Of course, yeah. And then eventually we managed to get the final profit price list, and then we started getting 3 customers. I remember it was my partner, Justice, who got us the first 3 customers. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the number went from 3 to 10, 17, up to now. I think for hotels, we have around more than 50 hotels and restaurants we're supplying to. And then farmers, we started with the farmers in our community, around 9 farmers in Morogoro. And then the number grew from 9 to, I think, was 100, and then 400, 500. Right now we have close to 2,400. Oh. Yeah, so that's how we started.
So all your farmers, are they in Morogoro, or are they now in different part of?
So right now we have farmers in Morogoro, we have in Iringa, Njombe, Mbeya, Kilimanjaro, Tanga, Lushoto.
So so how do you manage these farmers? 2,000 plus farmers in different part of the country. Yeah. Are they giving you different products, or how do you also manage the community of farmers and also manage expectations?
The decision to decide where to source from is based on, first of all, season availability. Okay. And then specific products you want. For example, potatoes, like good potatoes, you can find them in Southern Ireland. So you're talking about Njombe, Mbeya, Iringa, that side. And then on a rare case, when it's rainy season and it's not the season in Mbeya, you go to Arusha, Tarakea. Okay. That's where you get potatoes. Yeah.
I never knew Arusha has potatoes.
They have potatoes, and actually it's easy to get potatoes from Arusha because it only takes few hours to get from Njombe, but the quality is better from Njombe as compared to getting from Arusha. Okay. Yeah.
So does that have a kind of market impact when you start bringing from Arusha? Do the customer demand reduce as compared to?
Yes, the price is less. So potatoes from Arusha, the price is less in the market. Okay. So especially for the informal retailers. Apart from the hotels and restaurants, we're supplying to over, right now, 2,500 informal retailers in Dar es Salaam. So most of the retailers, we're supplying them with potatoes only. And most of these potatoes are coming from Southern Highland. But towards end of the year, October, November, December, January, you go to Arusha. That's where we get most of the. So the packaging style in Arusha is, the sacks are very small. Also, the variety of potato is not the first grade. So when you take to the market, the price is usually very less. Yeah, they know that.
Okay. When you started, what are the biggest hurdles you faced? Are there times you wanted to quit? What informed those kind of things? And also, what were the motivations for you to really start at that early stage?
I think usually when I get that question, I tell people that I think I feel very lucky to do something I'm passionate about. Honestly speaking, most of the times people start businesses and it's not their passion.
It's a trend. They follow the trend.
They follow the trend, and if it's not your passion, you can easily quit.
Definitely.
Yeah. So for me, I think when we started with this idea, I could see 10, 20, 30 years how the vision will turn out. Yeah. Other than starting something and then expecting big returns in the next few years. So we had a lot of challenges. When we were farming, of course, at some point, the supervisors, actually we got scammed like 3 times. Where these
are like the middlemen in the villages or your own staff?
No, scammed. These are like supervisors.
You hired?
Yes.
Okay.
Send them money to buy stuff, to buy when we're doing farming. Potatoes. Actually, yeah. Well, no, when we're doing farming, we're sending money for them to buy the fertilizer and stuff. They didn't buy it. They buy. They put 10% in your farm, 90% in their farms.
No, they have their farms.
They have their own farms. Oh. Yeah. So that was like during production, we had a lot of issues with that. But in our business with Kilimo Fresh, we had, first of all, when we started the company, the first big issues were access to capital, because the business we're doing is buying and selling. And most of the times hotels will give you more and more and more orders. Yeah. So the challenge is where to get the funds. You can't go to the bank, especially in the first year. You can't go to the bank.
No traction to show.
No traction.
No collaterals.
Nothing. It's just you yourself and your shirt,
And your vision.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, for me, most of the times I'll go back to my mom. I say, Mom, you know what? I know you have all these women circles, recobas.
Gather them together.
Get me something so I can use to supply these orders. And I got a lot of support from that. But also my partner Justice as well, he was also getting a lot of support from his family as well. And then after like around 1 year, end of 2019, that's when we got our first funding from Seed Stars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we got $30,000. That was our initial investment. And then we used all that. At least we got they gave us a small office at Seed Space. And then it was just like me, Justice, and my other partner, the other team member, the marketing. So the 3 of us, and then the other team was in the market, getting goods and distributing. So we used most of the funds for working capital. And we did that for a year, and then the following year we won the West Africa Challenge, then got like $50,000, and then we had like additional working capital.
So I like we go from Seed Stars to getting MEST 50,000. But how easy was it to get MEST, and how many disappointments were in between? At that point, I think this is always what is missing.
Exactly. So, honestly, with Seed Stars, it wasn't easy as well, because it was the first initial investor. Imagine someone coming, you have no one has invested in you understand? And initially they were coming with $15,000 investment, but I was lucky because they decided to come physically to Tanzania. So we had like one-on-one, they saw the operations, and then we had the one-on-one conversation. So when I explained the vision and everything else, they doubled the investment. Okay. But from Seed Stars to MEST, that is where things got tricky. Because once you have like this large amount of money, at that particular time was very big for us. The first idea we get is, let me go for more customers.
Okay.
So we got more orders, we got more tenders.
So you increase your sales force to get more customers.
Yes, we got more customers, we got more business. Now it only took us 3 months before we started facing challenges.
Your runway was over.
The runway was over because most of the times, you supply a customer, the customer will pay you in they'll tell you maybe for 5 days, and then they'll pay you in 2 months.
So for that, this is for B2Bs, right?
B2B, yes.
Okay. So you need
the payment cycle is longer, and the orders are higher, and you need cash on a daily basis. Okay, we are buying in cash. Yeah. So you find most of the times you have cash staying with the customer, you don't have cash in your bank, cash with the customers, and then you have other customers who want more orders. And then you can supply.
Yeah, that's where your P&L shows a lot of money, but your cash flow is
exactly. And it's risky because the customer says, when you came to us, you said you have the capacity to supply, and then in just 2 months, your cash. You don't have any cash. Yeah. So then we need to do another tender to bring another supply and things like that. So it was a very tricky time. But again, we started talking to other investors.
How many investors in estimation, how many investors did you speak to before MES came through?
Maybe, I think 20, 25. Yeah. And none of them invested, actually.
What was the overall feedback you got when you're speaking
Yeah,
to
most of them, they'll say traction is not,
It's
yeah,
not
you
so
don't have enough traction, okay, first. And then second, they say it is risky because it's perishables. Do you have any trucks? We
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have. Yeah, do you have, we are leasing everything, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, if you're leasing everything, how,
What if
like,
one they said, I'm not giving you?
exactly. What if, yeah, what if you have your goods ready and then there's no truck?
There's no truck.
Yeah, and then you already purchased from the
Yeah,
farmers.
potatoes can't stay more than 3 days.
Exactly. Yeah. So most of them were like, no, the model is very risky. The model is very risky. Some investors were worried that there are other big players in the market, and they said, we are not sure you can get that big
compete.
and compete with existing players in the market.
Potentially, maybe they raise money and.
Yes, because I think 2019, one of our competitors had already raised, I think, $3-4 million. We were just sitting at 30K, and you want to compete with this person. Yeah. Most investors were like, no. Actually, one of the investors, I remember this conversation. I remember because it pained me. We were having this call, and then he asked, how big can you be? And then I explained to them. He actually laughed.
So that's so small.
He actually laughed.
How big is so small?
Yeah. No, he said, no, I don't think we can get that big. I said, why? He said, yeah, because I think there are other players in the market. I don't think we can get that big in 5 years. Actually, the numbers we gave him, we already surpassed them right now. But that particular time, he said, no, I don't think we can get that big in 5 years.
Yeah. Do you think lack of visibility also kind of affects their decision-making process? Because maybe I assume this VC is not from Tanzania. So based on the data he's gathered, there's a competitor with over $4 million investment. So it feels like the market is so small. And so do you think like the VCs coming in here, maybe their decision is very kind of impacted by the minimum level of information they get within the ecosystem?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest factor, because most of them, they think Tanzania is a very small market, but it's not. It's big. And also they have less visibility, less information about what things goes on the ground here, you know? And because of that, so when they make judgment, they compare to people like other companies in similar market in Kenya, Uganda, and sometimes they look at Nigeria or South Africa. But sometimes I think it's unfair comparison.
It is, of course.
Yeah, especially when you look at the size of the market. Dar es Salaam is the biggest city in East Africa, population-wise, but also in terms of course, I know the terms of currency strength is not that much as compared to Kenya.
Or the buying powers as well.
Yeah, the buying power is not that high, but trust me, in the next 10, 20 years, there's some change.
And also for Tanzania, I always say anywhere I go, Tanzania it's not a single market, it's a kind of bilateral market, because you look at, even post Tanzania to Congo, Burundi, and other landlocked countries, this is a very huge market opportunity as well.
Exactly. And even, for example, there's so many times we had orders of buyers coming from Rwanda to buy maize here, definitely. And we service those orders, and then same Burundi will come here.
Yeah, those are like really very big external markets.
Yeah, they tell I want 5,000 tons of maize because they don't have enough.
There's
they
no
come
water,
and buy here. Maize, beans, most of the grains they buy from Tanzania. Yeah. Kenya, I think most of their food products they're buying from Tanzania. Definitely. So if you look at Tanzania and you focus only on Tanzania market, you're forgetting that Tanzania is feeding. Yes, it's an extension. We are feeding all these other markets. So if someone is operating here, has access to these
other
markets as well. 500 million people you're talking about here.
Talking about going from early stage to now, trying to scale.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge trying to scale a startup, being in agri-tech as well, in Tanzania? What could be like one or two biggest challenges?
One of the challenges in the country, like as a country, Tanzania, or challenges we faced as.
So from your experience,
trying
to scale, what are the 2-3 biggest challenges? You feel like these are my biggest hurdles, and this is how I navigate, or I'm trying to navigate this kind of challenge.
I think challenges are I can categorize them in 3 groups. There are internal challenges in terms of entrepreneurs ourselves, and then there are market challenges, and then there are external challenges in terms of government-wise, policies and things like that. Of course, policies takes time to change, but hopefully especially recently, they're looking at different ways to change investment taxation policies for startups, which is very good. We see also the government set some funds for the startups. But again, if you're scaling, especially from a startup, we call them scale-ups.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're a scale-up, definitely first thing you need is additional funding. One of the issues usually I face from investors is that, where is your holding company located? I say Tanzania, and they say, nope, you need to relocate.
We have a mandate to invest in Tanzania.
Yes. So for us, we like to invest for companies that have holdings either in the US or Mauritius or maybe Middle East, but preferably Mauritius or US.
Yes.
So first thing first, move your holding company from Tanzania to the
Start
US.
facing a lot of legal activities, operations, and
exactly, yeah. And then Tanzania becomes a subsidiary. So because of the policy and things like that, so that's why investors encourage that. They feel comfortable if their funds go to the US.
kind of safe.
Yes, then they come here. Yeah. So that is on the policy side. But otherwise, in terms of scaling up, I think access to finance is one of the biggest challenge. When you grow, you need a lot of resources. You need to invest in team.
Yeah,
it depends on the nature of the business, but on my case with agri-tech, I need to invest in team, I need to invest in trucks, I need to invest in warehouses, I need to invest in collection centers, and things like that. And usually one mistake we made in 2022, we raised less than what we needed.
Less than what you needed.
Yeah, because
and
I think
you closed the round.
we closed the round. We underestimated how much we need to scale to the next target. So instead of, actually we raised, I think, less than a half of what we needed, because we were worried we don't take too much cash, too much dilution, and then end of the day you don't need all the money. But we took that money in just, I think, 12 months.
Then it's gone.
We're already struggling.
Yeah, most of the time you want to raise something for at least minimum of 18 months.
Yeah.
So you can have time to kind of focus on growing the business.
Exactly. So like in 12 months, we're back to fundraising.
Becomes more like a rat race.
Yeah. So we raised less than what we needed. And this, of course, is after a number of struggles. We went to one of the banks in Tanzania. We told them that we are banking with them, and every month they see transactions go there. 200,000, 100,000, 50, like around that. They see a lot of transactions going around the bank account, but they said, no, we can't fund you because you don't have collateral.
No collaterals.
Yeah. We tell them we have trucks. They said we don't use trucks.
That's depreciation.
Because trucks
depreciate.
Depreciate. They said we make maybe an exception, rare case, if you have trucks that they start from 2012 and above, like 10 years. So right now, 2015 and above. That's not
but a cheap truck.
if you buy a truck of like 20 that was
10 years less,
10 years, it's very expensive.
Yeah, of course.
You can use the same money to buy 3 trucks of 2005, 2006. As a startup, you want to buy more for less.
Yeah, for movement, for logistics.
Yeah. So we didn't have those trucks. And even if we had those trucks, they say we only give you 50%.
That's even generous.
Yeah, like 50%. So if the trucks are worth $500,000, we'll give you $250. Yeah, $250.
Max, yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of issues around raising from the banks and local banks. So that's when we looked externally, then we found one impact investors from Swiss.
Okay.
So actually we raised funds through Swiss Development Commission, Impact Linked Finance Fund, ILFFF.
Okay.
It was implemented by iGravity. So we got $150,000, that is 2022. And then we got another loan from, impacted loan from Opus LCF, 75K. So in that year, we got 225K, but in actual sense, we needed close to 600K.
600K.
Yeah.
So at that point, did you know you needed 600K, or you feel like 250 was good enough to do something?
We knew we needed 600K, but at some point we were a bit
became scared.
Yeah. We're like, no, maybe
let's try.
Let's just take 250K and let's see how things go. But once we got up funds, because that's when we're expanding to the informal retailers now. So with informal retailers, you need salespeople, you need additional farm officers, you need additional team in terms of finance, operations, sales. You remember, initially it was a team of 12, only hotels and restaurants, and then now with informal retailers, the number jumped up to 42. 41, 42, around that. Okay. So you can imagine the increment. So it comes with a payroll cost. You need a big office. You need to give these people additional services. And for those field officers, they needed additional allowances. to be staying in the field, farming communities, working with farmers.
To connect with the farmers.
Yeah, then you invest in other collection centers, and then you buy trucks, and then, yep. So that was
very overwhelming.
Yeah, that was very.
So do you, just looking back to 2022, 2023, when you were trying to navigate these things, do you think there could be a better way you could have done it? Rather than managing the resources, rather than pushing sales, pushing the trucks, pushing expansion, and all at the same time.
Yeah. Also, I think we got too excited with the growth, and then we end up.
We can do all. We can't do everything at once.
Bring people. If I went back to 2022, honestly, instead of having 7 sales people, I would have maybe 4.
Yeah.
Instead of having more field officers, maybe I would limit number to 5 instead of having 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is if we had, let's say we only had the same amount, we didn't raise more. If we raised 600K, we would have.
That makes sense.
But
so you're spending as if you had 600K in your account rather than a 250K budget.
Yeah, but also but if the market, let's say everything went as projected, because we had
hope.
Yeah, we had hope.
When we push traction, money will come.
No, we had a budget, remember, that if we have this number of people, this is our payroll, this is how much you make, then they'll be able to cover.
So were you focusing on using investment to meet 600K demand, or you were now saying maybe if I invest 250,000, I can be able to get enough revenue to cover my cost?
No, we're using the 250K to reach 600K targets.
Target to cover
same targets we wanted to achieve with 600K, wanted to achieve with 250K.
Okay.
So in simple words.
So you want to say maybe I want to acquire 2,000 farmers when I hit this 600K, and you want to do the same with 250K.
Yeah, and if maybe I want to reach maybe 1 million revenue end of the year with 600K. Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, on the paper the plan was very good. I think I'll talk about team. I was
going there right now.
Yeah, I'll talk about team as well. I think also that plan could have been easily achieved if you had the right team.
I was going there. I think one of the biggest factors when it comes to scaling lean it boils a lot about the kind of resources you have internally. So as a founder that is trying to scale, do you think there are talent dynamics you needed is it different from what you need from early stage when you're starting? Does the dynamics of the kind of talent you need to scale, is it different? Do you think there's opportunity? Do you think they exist? Looking at also the competition with maybe bigger companies for this kind of talent. And when do you think you have to hire? When do you think you need to fire?
So I think, first of all, when we started out, we needed people who understand the vision, and people would say, okay, you know what? I also want to learn in the process, and I'm willing to stay for a number of years with this company. So that is when we were starting.
Does that really exist? Do you have this kind of angels?
No, I have in my team, I have you
can have maybe
3 people that,
It's always 1% of.
Yeah, it's 1%, because actually for me, 1% is 4 people. So I have less than 1%.
Yeah.
3 people that were really with me since day one, But most of the times you don't get that. So as we were scaling, I think we made some mistakes in hiring. The quality of people. So I'll give one example. Initially, we started with 4 sales reps. Mm-hmm. So we had 4 routes, 4 sales reps for distribution. Okay. And then we wanted to grow the number of routes in the next 3-4 months. And they said, okay, for us to grow this, because these 4 reps, they took us some time to train them. Okay. And we said, okay, we don't want to spend another time training other reps when we expand. So what we do, for every sales rep, let's give them an assistant. So they move around in the market, they train them. Yes. So we got additional 4 people and then put them in that. So we bundled them together and they'll go and do distribution. And when we were ready to expand to these new routes, we figured out that the more people we had, the less performance.
Productivity reduces.
Yes. And this is because, especially for informal retailers, when they go out there to sell potatoes, so you give them a price, okay? Today, this is today's price, or maybe you give them a night before, this is tomorrow's price, because you already have the goods, you know your cost, and you already done some comparison with the market price. and then you tell them, of course, they have the forms they sign, like good return policy. You don't have to return the goods. They have the targets to reach every single day, etc.
So once they take the goods, they can't return it.
They can't return. They
So
need
once
to
you
sell
accept
everything.
it, say, it's in perfect condition, you sign it, and whatever that happens is your.
You have to sell and bring the truck empty,
It's signed by the retailers or your sales reps?
It's signed by the sales reps.
So it's like you are selling that product to your sales reps?
No. They are given goods to go and sell. So the KPI is to sell everything in a day. So you don't sell to them.
The no return policy is like, when you take 20 bags, you can't come back.
Find ways to sell it. Don't return it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because we have other consignment coming.
So we don't have space for this.
We don't have space for this. Yeah. And actually, the other tricky part about potatoes, if they stay
on the ground
for another night, the price goes down. No, the price goes down.
Because there's a new one coming in.
There's a new one coming. So the new one commands higher price compared to the old one.
It's the old one.
Yeah. So it's that way. So you don't, and at the same time, we've already done our margins calculation and everything else. So if we say we'll sell
once it drops,
exactly,
you disrupt our model.
Yes, because if we say we sell this for 70K and then tomorrow we sell for 60, you're already distorting our margins. So they have to sell everything.
Do they actually able to sell it, or they have to give it on credit?
No, we allow them to give credit.
You can give everything
credit is approved in the office.
Okay.
So they need to communicate with their supervisor in the office, and then we'll approve the credit.
Okay.
Yeah. But the biggest challenge is that at some point, some of these sales reps are not really honest. And what happened is sometimes they will sell, get cash, and they won't bring to the office. Some of them,
when they sell and they don't bring the cash to the office, what do they say?
They say it's credit. They say it's credit. But
And
this was
credit.
before. But this is before we put some measures. All these measures, of course, we came up with them after we saw a lot of these loopholes. Yeah. But initially, they'll take the cash. They'll sell. They'll take the cash.
And
they give themselves a salary advance, and then they say it's credit.
Until you pay them salary.
When you pay salary,
they return the
all
money.
Customers are paying at the same time.
Everyone is paying their money.
Yeah. So that was the difficult part. So until later on, we integrated with one of the telco companies here, and then so we're doing like everything is mobile money. It's paid through mobile money.
So
accounts.
You can't.
So they can't. Yeah. And we rarely approve credit, but when we do, it's someone that we know, someone that we've worked with for a very long time.
Kind of ring and
just give them a call. Yeah. And every day we know everyone they sell to. Everything is done digitally. So that's when things became better.
That's shaping up.
Yeah. But initially the challenge was that they'll give themselves our advance. Cash don't come to the office.
And that also affects your cash flow.
It affects our cash flow because you need to send to the farmers and buy again. And then on top of that, we had a lot of. There was a time where they'll bundle together. Everyone returns bags in the office, and then they'll say the market is difficult.
It's bad.
Yeah, like bad market. And then everyone will come back with potatoes.
They've called themselves to
Yeah, so that's how we found out that they'll team up and they decide, you know what?
Today we're not selling.
Today the price is not good. I think
we're returning them.
Yeah, they return everything. And that was really, until when actually we changed the whole sales team and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the biggest challenge with the team. But I feel like scaling up, you need actually our case specifically, we needed the head of departments, head of sales, head of operations, people who are really competent, and then allow these people
to manage the
not just manage, initially to also be part of the
understand what's going on the
recruiting ground. First the team.
Okay.
So we had hired the team, and then we hired the heads of the departments later.
So you hire now and allow them to hire people who they want to work with.
Yes. So you hire now the heads of departments, and then they become part of the recruiting team. And then decide, I want to work with this, I want to work with this. Yes. They have a say in that. Because what was happening is when you bring a head of department, head of operation, let's say, and then head of sales, and then they meet the team has more experience than them.
Yeah.
So definitely when they call,
they find a way to make them.
Yes.
I mean, because they're in the field, they have the whole knowledge on how to maneuver things and
exactly, and it will take time for him
to understand these things.
I'll be very honest with you. There's so many times we go to a meeting with the head of sales, and then you ask him questions. It's like, okay, let me call one of the sales. What do you think about? No,
don't do that.
Nah,
you just kind of show the whole weakness to them.
So once they sense weakness, they take advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
So our recruiting was not really. We made a mistake, I think.
But now that is kind of shaping up, and
So that changed. Of course, like I said, we got rid of the team, and then the head of the departments were part of the recruiting. So it becomes easier when they're on top of things. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the vision? What's next for you?
So basically,
Big question.
Right now, Kilimo Fresh, of course, does farm to market linkages for smallholder farmers, and we provide our customers with access to products at affordable prices. But we want to do more in that space.
Okay.
Our vision is to be the preferred marketplace for fresh produce. So by preferred marketplace, what do we mean? You can access quality products at affordable prices, and actually, when I say preferred marketplace, you can access everything. Okay, so in the next, I don't know how many years. Let's 5 years. First of all, to expand operations to other regions. For example, we have places like Zanzibar. Right now, we have signed up around 200 hotels already.
Zanzibar.
Yeah. So part of the fundraising we're doing right now is for the expansion to Zanzibar. Yeah. And you'll be surprised that these hotels are importing food products outside Tanzania.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, it's simply because they can find, suppliers
so you come all the
locally.
way from Middle East and all that.
Yeah. And Zanzibar land, 70% is coral. You can't grow anything. And for those who are growing, they use a lot of chemicals because of the type of soil that is there. Yeah. So we want to set up a distribution center there, get produce from the farmers in the mainland, and then take them to Zanzibar, and then do distribution across all these regions in Zanzibar. So make fresh produce affordable in Zanzibar as well. But also apart from that, we'll be going to Dodoma for the informal retailers. It's the second most populated city in Tanzania. They have so many retailers there that want to supply them with food products. Actually, potatoes are very expensive. I think they are 30,000 shillings expensive compared to
I have a lot of questions about that, but let me leave another day. Because I'm not sure how product move from Iringa to that is cheaper than product that move from Iringa.
Exactly. No, I think middlemen and stuff, and things like that, But again, we also have the project into processing. Food processing.
Okay.
Once it's, I think we validation. Okay. I think we spoke about this offline, but
of course, you kind of find a niche.
Yeah. We have we have signed a contract with the biggest franchises in East Africa, actually, Dar es Salaam. Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. So there's a product we're working on, and we'll be supplying to all these markets. But the idea is to help smallholder farmers access more income, especially if it's guaranteed income.
Yeah, definitely. When there is maybe a kind of 1 year, 2 year off the car contract, and also that also gives your partners that confidence.
Yes. And with these farmers, actually, we'll support them with access to inputs, access to technology, access to land, and everything else, and they grow everything for us. And we take
have a 100% off the card.
Yes.
Whatever I grow, I sell.
Exactly. And we process everything and then distribute to these customers. Yes.
I mean, that's a good way, because over time, when you are also going to scale, you have to now look at what really works, where are the margins, where do I don't have to do so much work in terms of, and just focus on pivoting to something that can really be kind of scale my business, maybe even out of Tanzania. You've been part of Develop program, and what would you say the value or the importance of being Develop portfolio?
I think first of all, the technical support was very impactful in our end. It enabled us. I think you remember we really wanted to do research with informal retailers, especially banana value chain, and to be able to identify their needs and serve them better. But apart from that, we did some work on technology as well, revamping everything like that.
Your ERP, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, like organizational structure analysis to see if you have the right systems in the right places and having the right team and things like that.
This can actually kind of key into your scalability plan.
As we scale, that is, those three areas are very important to us. So the technical assistance was very impactful on our end, but again, also the funding they provide. I mean, when you have an investor who has committed fund,
it gives you confidence.
It gives you confidence.
Some resources to do something.
Exactly. And when you talk to other investors, you see, okay, someone has already committed, and they can give them confidence also, and things like that. So it becomes easier for you. And generally, apart from that, I think is the network. They have a very strong network. I mean, the team, everyone.
Bringing all the founders together.
All the founders together, the investors, the mentors, everything together. I think it's a very strong network you want to have as a company that is scaling up.
Thank you very much, Baraka. I'm sure these are sometimes could be very emotional. Going from all the journey up, and we we really want to see, most of these kind of stories, tell most of the stories from the founder perspective.
Yeah.
So that actually, start shaping the conversation on ground when it comes to people that really want to support the ecosystem, from development partners to investors that are looking at the ecosystem, even to founders that really want to start venturing into maybe agri-tech space.
Yeah.
So, these are learnings. I call this like, $1 million learning, because, if you listen to maybe Baraka talk about, hiring and people using the fertilizers for their own farm. These are all where you've lost money. And if somebody's coming to this kind of sector anymore, they already have this information. I know that, okay, I don't have to make this kind of mistakes.
Yeah.
So I want to really appreciate your time for sharing this very important information with us and with our community of ecosystem stakeholders.
Sure.
And we're looking forward to amazing stuffs and seeing Kilimo Fresh at the top.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
All right.